Welcome to the lesson on calculating a value on the graph of a function. First thing we want to do is to press the Y equals button, which are the gray buttons at the top of your screen. Once you press your Y equals button, we're going to input the function, which is f of x equals x cubed plus 4x squared minus 7. So you need to know that f of x is the same thing as y. So when we plug in the function, all we need to plug in is x cubed plus 4x squared minus 7. So to do this, we're going to press the x button, which is located just to the right of the green button. It has an x, a t, a theta, and an n. We're going to raise it to the third power, so we do the exponent button and then a 3. Now don't forget to scroll to the right to get out of the exponent. Plus 4, and then we press the X button, and this time we're going to square it. Let's use our shortcut button for squared, which is the X squared button, and you don't have to scroll to the right when you use the X squared button. Minus 7. So we have our function in. We're going to make sure that we're on the correct graphing screen, so let's press zoom, and under the zoom button, the screen that I want to go to is Zoom Standard, which is number 6. I'm going to scroll down to Zoom Standard, which would give me a 10 by 10 screen. Once I'm to Zoom Standard, I can press Enter, and the function will automatically graph. All right, I'm going to go back to the Y equals button. Another way to graph the function is if you're doing 2 or 3 graphs at a time, you can simply press the graph button, and it will continue whatever zoom button you had pressed prior to this graph. So here's our graph. We want to find some coordinates that are on this graph. So we're going to press the trace button. Notice that when we press the trace button, a cursor starts blinking on the graph. At the top of the screen, you should see that it says y1 equals x cubed plus 4x squared minus 7. That's our equation for that function. At the bottom of the screen, you see a coordinate, x equals 0, y equals negative 7. That is the coordinate for the current point that is blinking on the screen. Say we want to figure out, well, what's the coordinate when x equals 1? So once I press trace, all I have to do is press 1, and notice that on the screen it appears x equals 1. So once I press enter, it will tell me what's the y coordinate. Notice that it is y equals negative 2. Not only does it tell me the coordinate, but it moves the cursor to that exact point. So let's do another point. Let's do x equals negative 3. So we're going to type in negative 3. We're going to press enter. And there we have it. That's our coordinate. X equals negative 3, y equals 2, and again the cursor moves. An alternate way to figure out a value for a function, this is the shortcut way, but another way is to press the second button and calculate. Once you press second and calculate, you see the second choice says, the first choice says value. So then we pick it. And it does the exact same thing. At this point now we just type in our coordinate. We typed in negative 1 at one point, so let's just do that point again. X equals negative 1, press enter. And here we go. X equals negative 1, y equals negative 4. The function is at the top of the page, and the cursor is on that specific coordinate. That completes our lesson on calculating a value on the graph of a function.